Greetings once again, Retreat Church. You know, God has created us to be decision makers and to take responsibility for the outcome of those decisions. This is part of being created in His image. And the goal of what we're going to be talking about over the next several weeks is to understand how God has given us free choice and made us morally responsible. So, in this first message in this series entitled You Choose, I want to talk to you about this one fact, that your choice determines your condition. Say that one more time. Your choices determine your condition. Now, I know some of you want to push back against that immediately, and maybe you have good grounds to push back against that, because maybe some of you right now are suffering from the choices of other people. Some people have made choices to maybe put you in some pretty difficult positions. Maybe some people's choices have been downright abusive in your life, and you have a lot of trouble in your life because of the decisions that somebody else has made. And if you're in that place today where you're in a tough spot because you've been mistreated or you've been abused in some way or hurt in some way because somebody else made a horrendously horrible choice to treat you that way, I want to say to you that you are not at fault if you're in that position. What I'm talking about is the decisions that we've made that have set us on a course of life that has brought us to our current day. Now, combining those two, I would say to those of you that are suffering today and are in a very tough spot because of a bad choice somebody else has made, I want to say to you that you too have a choice, that your power has not been taken away and your responsibility has not been removed. See, now you've been placed in a very difficult spot because of the choices of others, and now you must choose. You must choose if you're going to get the necessary help to move forward, or if you're going to remain in a condition that has been brought to you by the negative choices of someone else. So don't let anyone or anything ever tell you that all of your power has been removed and you no longer can choose because somebody has robbed you of that power. You always have the power to choose because it is part of how God has created you in His image. And then all throughout the scriptures we see, because of this, because that's one way that God created us in His image, we begin to see God putting choices in front of us. One of those more memorable choices is found in the book of Deuteronomy towards the end in chapter 30, verse 19, where God speaks to His people through the writings of Moses. And He says this, He says, I call heaven and earth to witness against you today that I have set before you life and death, blessing and curse. Therefore, choose life, that you and your offspring may live. So whatever condition you find yourself in today, whether it's a decision that you have made and has brought you to a certain place, or a decision that somebody else has made that has affected your life, I want to pray that you take back that power to choose, and that you realize that today is is a day where you must choose life. And part of that choosing of life is choosing to surrender your entire being to the Lordship of Jesus Christ, because that too is a choice. And Jesus talks about that choice in Matthew chapter 10, where He says, so everyone who acknowledges me before man, I will also acknowledge before my Father in heaven. But whoever denies me before men, I also will deny him before my Father in heaven. So Jesus puts this choice before us as well, but we also see the consequence of our choices that He has put before us. So finally, in closing today, I just want to briefly mention that you are free. You are free to choose. You're free to move forward from this point on in your life, or you're free to remain stuck in the past. You're free to create something in your life that is worth giving your whole life to, because that is how God has created you. He's invited you into the creative process to make decisions, to dream big dreams, and to do good things. And in fact, to the point where that freedom can be used either for selfish purposes or for life-giving purposes for other people. As Paul writes to the church in Galatians chapter 5, verse 13, he says, for you were called to freedom, brothers. Only do not use your freedom as an opportunity for the flesh, but through love serve one another. So I pray today that you will make positive choices to get your life going in a positive direction, and that you would take responsibility for the current position of your life. and that you would choose life and choose Jesus and choose to serve. God bless you. We'll see you next time.